It's the Brad and John Show.
It is the Brad and John Show. Today's date is the 12th of December. It is a Friday, and this is the C Block. And John, on Fridays before Christmas, what do we normally do?
Oh, do we have a conversation with a happy little elf today?
I don't know if he's a happy little elf.
Okay, we're going to hear some Christmas puns. Kim Kardashian through the snow.
I'm trying, if my phone says calling, so, oh my God, don't tell me my phone's not going to work now. Hold on a minute. Here we go. No, here we go. Hold it. Is it ringing? Mr. Frost, are you there? Hold on just a minute. Oh my God. I got the curse of the stupid equipment again. Okay, let me go reboot this. I did this 20 minutes ago and it was working, and now it's not working anymore. Okay, hold on just a minute.
That's okay, Brad. We can always edit out stuff in post-production. You're an expert at that.
Do we really do that? Come on, I don't want to edit out things because of the fact that
but like where we have an A block, garbled audio, and you filibustering for 30 seconds, we're not going to punish listeners by forcing them to hear you filibuster and say, John's in a different studio and is on the closed location.
Okay, here we go. We're going to try it again. Okay. It's working this time.
Hello.
Mr. Frost, you know what? I have to tell you something. I'm sorry that I misdialed you before and things didn't work because I didn't fat finger it. I frost fingered it. I frostbite fingered it. That's what I did. How's that, Mr. Jack Frost?
I like that. Of course, here you are calling me again. I think we need to ask Santa to get you a hobby for Christmas, Brad.
This is Jack Frost, the infamous Jack Frost from Christmas Traditions on Main Street. Now, 2 weeks down. This past weekend had to be a good weekend for you. It was relatively cold, right? And no rain or anything like that?
That's right. It was a little warm for people like you, so people who are like, oh my goodness, it's 32 degrees in December. Hello, it has the word burr in the title, people. They came out on Saturday. People who like a little chill came out on Sunday. It was a great weekend, but we still got 2 more. So for those of your listeners sitting there saying, boy, I wish I was at St. Charles Christmas Traditions, copyright registered trademark, they still have time.
And you're right. They have the Circle R and all their stuff. Okay. This is year number 51 for Christmas Traditions, correct?
Correct.
And how many years have you been a part of it?
I've been there 20 years. It's a big anniversary for me.
Wow, 20 years. So now, what has changed this year? If someone went last year, what's different this year?
Well, we brought a few additional friends with us this year. Of course, people who have been to Christmas Traditions before know that our characters are really the big foundation. You can, hobnob with over 50 different legends of Christmas, figures from history, literature, and folklore. So we're famous for our international Santas, our global gift givers. And this year, we went to South America, and we brought a Santa from Chile named Viejito Pascuero. So it's the first time he's ever been there. We have some new singing groups, some new caroling groups called the Confectionettes. They look like, a turn-of-the-century candy-making team. And then we have the Mouse King from the famous Nutcracker story. Because, Ebenezer Scrooge and myself, we can't be the only antagonists on the street. So we invited that rodent to come along and have some fun as well.
Are you still giving out the trading cards? Is that still a deal?
Absolutely. We love people to have a little souvenir of their time. Every character and every caroling group has a souvenir card for free. And if you come on Wednesday and Friday nights, this is a fun fact. This is a little inside tidbit for your listeners alone. There are actually bonus cards that are only available during special programming on Wednesdays and Fridays. So this year, if you collect all of them, including the bonus cards, you can have 50 free cards that have the picture of the legend and their history on the back.
Interesting. Now, we're talking to Jack Frost, who's one of the main characters on Christmas Traditions on Main Street in downtown St. Charles. We need to give the hours. Friday tonight, hours?
Yes. So tonight we are there from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m.
Tomorrow?
And tomorrow we are there from noon to 8:30.
And then on Sunday?
Sunday, noon to 5.
And then Wednesdays, so you have what? Do we have, you don't do, you only have what? I guess one more Wednesday, because the Wednesday after next is Christmas Eve. So the next.
That's correct. So next Wednesday, we'll have our Christmas Carol stroll. That's all about Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol and Ebenezer Scrooge and all the ghosts of Christmas. So that will be taking place. It's special programming from 6 to 8:30 p.m. next Wednesday. But we will be there Christmas Eve as well. That is our big closing day from 11 a.m. to 2 on Christmas Eve. We end with our big Santa send-off and all the characters waving goodbye until next year.
Jack, I'm a little bit disappointed in you. Last week, you were throwing the puns left and right. I don't think I've heard one good one so far this morning. Are you not feeling well? Are you under the weather, so to speak?
Oh, under the weather? No, I think I have a bit of the brain freeze. Got to pop some more of those chill pills, take a little snow Zempic, and then we'll be right as rain, or I guess right as snow.
Can I ask you one question?
Of course.
I put myself through college as a police dispatcher, and I still carry little pocket scanners around and listen to the police traffic. And when I was in St. Charles the other day, there was a call that went out that somebody had gone to the Schnucks there in 94, right across from Lindenwood, had emptied out the frozen pizza section of the freezer and was inside, and they were trying to extricate him. Was that you by any chance?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Jack Frost, what's the web address that people want more information about the events? Come on, you got it right at the top of your head. Tell me what that web address is.
Absolutely. stcharleschristmas.com.
stcharleschristmas.com. Jack Frost, I appreciate it. We will talk to you next Friday.
Chilling as always. Looking forward to it. See you then.
Okay, bye. He's something, John. He's something.
Seasons freezings, Brad.
Seasons freezings. Okay. Talk about in the last section of our show here before we leave for the weekend. Okay, anything you want to recap? I have a couple things that I would like to talk about.
But go ahead, Brad. Let's get through your list.
I got interviewed yesterday, and I think this is so interesting, by Todd and Joey. And this is like the second time I've been on their show. Matter of fact,
Is this Todd Schowalter?
Yes, Todd Schowalter. And he does such an incredible job with this show. And if you know who Todd Schowalter is, he's a cartoonist, an extremely talented artist. I just can't. It's funny. I talk to people and they talk about, oh, my favorite class when I was in grade school and high school was art. I hated art class because I was so bad at it. To this day, I can't do stick figures, okay? I just am terrible at art. But my art is, and some people may dispute this, my art is the spoken word and music and editing.
And AI jingles. Okay, so you did an interview. What'd you talk about, Brad?
Well, they had me on again about my diet. And he's obsessed with this because he finds this, I don't know, maybe sort of weird because of the fact that I have my fast food diet. And by the way, you can buy my diet at fastfoodmediet.com. And this is the second time he's had me on, and we talk about this, and once again, people, when I talk about this, people are still like...
People say, I don't believe you.
Yeah, all the time. I get that all the time. And I say, look, my initial thing was, I told the story, graduated from high school, 162, went to college. 2 years later, I was 310, almost doubled in size. Another 10 pounds, I would have been exactly twice my weight. Imagine that. And I met a woman who I fell in love with, who I ultimately married. And for the first 2 or 3 months, she gave me the cold shoulder, okay? And then I started losing weight. And the more weight I lost, the more interested she got in me. And I get it. I understand it. Who wants to go out with a fat blob? That was me. I was a fat blob. And through the years, I have had my weight cycling where I go up in weight. And when I go up in weight, why do I gain weight? Because I'm not eating all fast food. I start eating other things. But then when I catch myself, I'm 15 pounds overweight right now, I go back in my fast food diet and I lose the weight. Nobody believes me. Like first this morning, I'm sitting here drinking my Mountain Dew. It's a diet Mountain Dew, and eating my Little Debbie Christmas tree cake. And for lunch yesterday, I can't remember what I had. For lunch yesterday, I had a number 2 at McDonald's. I had the quarter pounder with bacon. I splurged yesterday, and then that was pretty much all I ate all day long. I'm down to 1 meal a day, as crazy as it may sound. And part of it has to do with my stupid gallbladder crap. But it's just to the point where it's like, anyway, the interview was really good. And the sad part of it is, those two guys. You've never heard their show, have you?
No, I haven't.
They are so good. And they're just on like on Saturday and on Sunday. And what's interesting about it is I talked about stuff on their show. Now, I don't know if it's going to end up that way, but we started talking radio. And I started talking about J.C. Corcoran, because that's the station J.C. Corcoran's on. And I told them they'd never heard the story about J.C. Corcoran on Facebook saying, John, what did he say again now? You know it better than anybody. What did J.C. Corcoran say about me?
You made a snide comment to him, and then he replied and said, you said, have you ever heard of, and you said something. And then he said, have you ever heard the sound of a fist punching you in the face?
Right. So he said he was going to punch me in the face. Now, the interesting thing was, what I blew Todd and Joey away when I talked about the fact that I said, it's interesting that you have these St. Louis radio icons who don't live in St. Louis. And they said, well, yeah, we know JC lives in Florida. I said, do you know Dave Murray lives in Palm Springs, California? And they had never heard that before. And they were going like, no way. I go, yeah, he's been there for like 6 or 7 years since he retired. He sold his house here and lived in Ladue. He sold his house and moved to Palm Springs, California, which once again, this is the internet era. In the old days, if you go way, 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 way back when, if you were going to be a meteorologist in St. Louis, you had to be here because you had the radar in your studio and you couldn't just pull it up on your smartphone, and you couldn't pull up all the meteorological data on your smartphone because there were no smartphones. You had to be in the studio where all that equipment was, and you looked at the radar and you looked at the barometric pressure. You had your barometer and you had all the anemometer and the temperature gauges and all that kind of stuff. And nowadays you can do that from anywhere. And see, I find that fascinating that still people are going like, Dave Murray's not here in St. Louis? I've told that to people before. People go like, yeah, it's you. There's no way. And matter of fact, it's interesting. If you don't believe me, every once in a while on 97.1 where he does his forecasts, they'll talk about the fact, hey, Dave Murray's going to be in town. We're going to actually have him in studio. What does that tell you? Right?
Yeah, it tells you he's out of town. And there's a guy who embraces technology, Brad. You were the one that more than a decade ago smartened up kids at Logan College of Chiropractic about TikTok. I know that you embrace radio guys saving money, retiring, semi-retiring, going to a warmer area, and being able to do their job from far away. Brad, let's get back to fastfoodmediet.com. Now, the trick is not eating, and I don't mean to give away your entire plan here, but it's calories in, calories out.
Yep.
The fact that you lose weight is not because there's a specific sort of grease and funk in a biggie bag, but rather you're measuring, or not necessarily measuring, you were concerned with calories in and calories out, not the source of that food, right?
It's basic thermodynamics.
That's right. And what do you mean by that, Brad? And you have a great gas tank analogy,
well,
Brad. What's
like
your gas tank analogy?
The gas tank analogy is this. Your gas tank in your car has a fixed volume. When you go to the gas station and you fill up your gas tank and you put in 10 gallons and the thing clicks off and you try to top it off and you're able to get a little bit more in there, if you get in your car and drive around the block and try to put in another 5 gallons, it won't work because there's not enough room in the tank. Your stomach is elastic. It stretches, it gets smaller. Everybody talks about Thanksgiving. Oh, you got to let the belt out a couple notches on Thanksgiving Day like that. That's the whole thing. And it's basic thermodynamics. If you have energy in exceeding energy out, you gain weight. If you have energy in less than energy out, you lose weight. And if you have the ultimate equilibrium, which is very hard for people to maintain, if you have energy in and energy out being equal, you will stay the same. And the whole point of it is that you can burn off the energy and to the point where you can, like they gave the example, who was the swimmer? I always give this example as well too.
Michael Phelps.
Michael Phelps. They said he would eat 8,000 to 10,000 calories a day. And this is a perfect example. You see these guys who are football players and baseball players and they're in great shape. Okay. A year after they're retired, you go, whoa, my God, that guy blimped up because of the fact.
Because they're not expending energy anymore.
Right.
Brad, the AI chick that does the promo for fastfoodmediet.com, the one that pronounces McD's as MacD's, and the one who uses the popular decade-old phrase real talk. Brad, do you picture her as being a brunette, a blonde, or a redhead?
Actually, she's Sinead O'Connor's sister, and she's bald.
She has no hair, and she rips up a photo of the Pope.
Right.
That's
okay.
extra kinky, Brad, especially for a Catholic area like St. Charles County.
John, I have my leads group this morning at 9 o'clock, which means I got to run the studio, edit this up real quick, and put it on so you'll be happy by 8:20. It should be up and running, okay?
Fantastic. I can't wait, Brad. I'll see you on Monday.
Are you going to Christmas traditions this weekend?
I don't know if I'll go this weekend. I'm not sure. It's going to depend on what my Saturday night is like. I may go down there.
Okay. I will talk to you on Monday. Have a good weekend, John.
See you then, Brad.